about colour mixing. So welcome to Bunny's Designs. This is a live stream with live people. So if I start talking to people and dogs, you know I'm not alone. What I've been doing is I've been colour mixing, and there'll be that on part 1. This is part 2. I've made a variety of colours, all the colours that I need to make a colour wheel, which has got quite messy because they're the colours that I have. I have a lemon yellow, a warm yellow, an orange, a very dark brown black almost, by mistake, dark purple, bright purple, blue, a warm blue, a bright green, a brighter green, a yellow green, and then I have a pinky red, a warm red, and I have a red, orangey red, a cool red. And from those colours I should be able to make lots of things. But I wanted to concentrate on the greens because I like the greens. I was trying to replicate this, but I was using all my professional watercolours up. And as much as I love photocopying, I thought it would be nicer to look at, to pick out colours. So we know that the warm yellow and the warm blue, you get all those greens. But then I thought that's a bit too complicated for me. So I'm going to do them in a little book. Because it's a long time since I've done this, so it's a good practice. So what I've made out is a little squared template. So I've got a blue purple and a yellow green, a blue purple and a yellow orange, a blue green and a yellow green, and a blue green and a yellow orange. And what I decided to do, so that's going to be a warm blue and a cool yellow, a warm blue and a warm yellow, a cold blue and a cold yellow, and a cold blue and a warm yellow, just to see the differences. And if we do 10 and we've got 2, 4, 6, we've got 8 differences, there's going to be 80 greens there. So let's see how many we can get. Sorry, there isn't going to be 80 greens. I do apologise. It's going to be 40. So there's going to be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I've just decided if that's going to be there, there's 1, 2, 3, 4. So this one, I'm going to start first. So what I'll do is I'll mix the 2 colours to make the green. And then I'll split the green into 2, and I'll do green to yellow and green to blue. Oh, mind you, I don't have to do that, do I? No, I can actually do that. So I'll do that colour to there, yellow, and that colour to there. That's what I'll do. So in each one, I need 7 squares across. Or you could just do 10. And that's going to give you, from 2 colours, a warm and a cool. There's 4 combinations of greens you can use. So there's going to be 4 greens that we can have, but then we can take those 4 greens and we can make them yellower and add yellow to them, and we can add blue to make them bluer, and that will give you quite a number of greens. And the further away we get to these colours, now some colours may join together. You should see a join where you can almost match the exact colours. But this is a very good experiment because it shows you about colour mixing. And once you've got this in your head, you probably won't even have to look. But if you're doing something and you think, oh, I need this colour and I just can't remember how I got it, you can look in your little book. And you could also use this for different mediums. I'm just going to use the printer's inks, but you can use it for the other things. So I've got 4 sets of colours there. So I'll pop that back. So we need a bit of a grid, and I've got the 2 colours at this side as well. So what I'm going to do is I'll mix the colours here, and then I'll take, that's going to be the first green, and I'll take it back to a pale one. And then I will mix the colour again and take it back to yellow, if that made sense. So I need 4 jam jar tops. I'm only using the jam jars because this is printer's ink and I'm not quite sure what it's going to do. Sorry, this is printers as in a printer ink, not as in printer's ink. Sorry, this is printer ink. And it's very strong, it's very vibrant, and those are the colours that I've made round here, and it does go through. But the colours I'm using is that, so I'll put that there, and if I move these down very carefully, I'll pan out actually, so bear with me 2 seconds. I'll zoom out. And you can see my tissues and how it's affecting what I do there. I then have the 4 jam jars for mixing the colours, and these are the colours that I have, and the 2 pinks. But we're going to concentrate, and I've got a bit bigger brush today actually as well. The water that I've been using has gone black because I've been just mixing the 3 colours and washing my brush out because these are quite vivid. So I'm probably going to change that now to clean water. And you can see it disappearing. It'll probably make a dark, deep green. So I've got my little book here. My hands don't work very well, so I wonder if I had a clip. If I put those there. So to start with, I'm going to use a blue purple. So I said that that was a blue purple, but it's not as blue as I need. So if that's a blue purple, and they go a long way to these, I'm going to wash the brush out in the black one, dirty one, and then rewash it in the clean one. And I just want a touch of purple, because I think a touch of purple in there is going to give us a nice warm blue, and it has. It's given us quite a nice warm blue. So if I colour that in there, I might do that with a smaller brush actually. No, I won't, because I'll be there all day. The other thing I thought was I could use this printer ink. I'll put that there, then we know what we're talking about. It's Wilko's Printer's Ink, £3. So I've got a purpley blue there, so it's a warm blue. And that is a lemon yellow, so that's the coolest one I have, which is this one. And it's about equal amounts there. And I didn't put that yellow there. I know that looks like a warm yellow, but it's the one straight out of the pot. And so I've mixed that, and this is the green that I've got, which I would say is just a bright, deep green. And that's because I've used a warm, it's a bit darker than normal because I've used a warm blue and a cold yellow, a purpley blue and a lemony yellow. So that's on there. So if I now, you see, and the other thing is you don't mind washing your brush out, because I'm going to go into this one purely because I don't have much left in that one, but that's what this is. And there's quite too much there. I just want to touch to brighten it up a little bit. So the more yellow that we're adding, the brighter it's becoming. So I could make lots and lots, but it is quite vivid, is that yellow. I may have to get some more out actually. But it is slowly changing, and this is about the right amount of shades that you can see. Oops, my hand's hurting holding that now. Sorry, puppy wants to come in. Yes. Enter the puppy. I woke up the other day and I couldn't believe why my hand was hurting. And it took 3 or 4 days to realise that colour mixing, for me, is, I said before it wasn't an option. And even though they're all in front of me, because I'm just moving around a little bit more than normal, I found it rather difficult. And it doesn't hurt at the time, but late at night, it was quite painful. So I don't want to do this too many times. And as you can see, that's going quite olive colours because that's the warm yellow. So I'm going to keep going because you can see exactly what's happening. That is getting some really nice olive colours. And I'll show you how that's actually got quite a lot on it as well, actually. I'm probably going to do so. That is quite a nice one, but what I'll show you is how you actually get them out. So you get a syringe with these, and it's not very sharp. It's not a syringe. It's like the top end of a needle, really. And you get a little screwdriver. Now I'm going to put that in the middle of here because I'm bound to spill it. So you get a screwdriver in the set. You get a top for the syringe so you can keep it. You get some cleaner, and you get some of these. I don't know where the little bag is. There's a little bag with some stoppers. I don't know what the stoppers are for, but hey ho. Oh, I know what they're for. They're to put in the holes. So I've drilled a little hole into there. And I've rinsed this with cold water again. Because obviously I used red last time because there's a smidging of red in there. And I'm going to put some more yellow in there and some more yellow in there. And then in the dirty water, she's making a black. And then in the clean water, you can still say there's yellow there, into the black. So I'm keeping this clear water clear, which is here. So that's now clean-ish. And then put the top on immediately if I can find it. There. So that's what I've just popped in, the yellow. So welcome to Bunny's Designs. I'm afraid I can't see any chats. I do apologise, but welcome to Bunny's Designs. This is a live show recording for YouTube. I've used 3 printer inks, £3.50 from our Wilko's in the UK, which is the bright blue, the bright pinky red and the yellow. And from those colours I've made a colour wheel, which in part 1 shows you how to get the deeper reds, the warm yellows and the purpley pinks and the nice greens. So this is part 2, and in my palette, because I didn't want to use anything nice because I'm really not sure what this printer ink's going to do, this printer ink. It will stain, I'm sure it will, and I'm sure it's poisonous, so be very careful when you use it. So in my little pans here, and this is a couple of pounds, this one, I've got yellow, orange, almost a black because I've been mixing. That's my water pot. It looks like black, so always make your blacks from your 3 colours. I've got a dark purple, I've got a pinky purple, a pale blue, a darker blue, warmer blue, 2 greens, and the pinky red and a warm orangey red. And from those I can make any colour, but I'm going through the greens at the moment because you can get some nice greens. As a practice earlier, oops, I didn't do that one. I was playing about with the greens. I just zoom out a minute. I was playing with the blues and yellows to make lots of different greens. So I managed to get some quite interesting greens from using a warm blue, a cold blue, a warm yellow and a cold yellow. But that was a spillage, that's water. But my professional watercolours were disappearing in front of me, so I thought, well, I'm going to have to do something. So I decided to play with some oranges, and that's a photocopy, and it goes straight through, so it acts very much like markers. But I got some quite unusual oranges and greens there. So that gave me the idea to make a colour guide of the greens. So I've mixed a purpley blue, which is a warm blue, with a yellow green, which is a coolish green, and we're getting some nice colours. So welcome to Bunny's Designs. As I say, I'm trying to, I don't know why I've lost chat again. I seem to do this all the time, and I'm really sorry, but welcome to everybody. I'm really sorry, it just, whoops, oh, I've done something drastic now, oopsie. That's me faffing about with it. I'm really sorry. I seem to have lost. Oh, hi everybody. Oh my goodness. Hi everybody. Sorry about that. Oh, gee, now I've got a puppy under my legs. I have to keep fidgeting because I go really rather stiff with this arthritis. So I do apologise. Hi to everybody. I found you on chat there, but not on my little e-reader. I was trying to use it so I could see the chat at the same time. But so I hope everybody's okay. Hi everybody. Um, can everybody see okay? Is that all right? So hi everybody. Excuse me. Quick slurp of warm tea. What I've been doing, I'll put that other light on, see if it makes a difference. What I've been doing is I've made some little squares with a template because I thought it makes it a little bit easier because I was getting rather scruffy. I did manage to make the colour wheel with these printer's inks. So I've done my little colour wheel. So whatever you've got, the only thing you can't do is if you have a warm red and you don't have a pinky red, you couldn't get a pinky red. But I think that's the only combination. So you do, because I'm obviously using the printer's inks, I have the pinky red and I had to make it a ready red with some orange. Did that make sense? Is everybody, I can see a little bit of chat now, but if I take my glasses off. So what I'm trying to do is I've mixed the green here, and as I say, because it's printer's ink, if I ruin that, that's fine. If it works, I'm going to put them in my little pot here and dry them out, and then I can take them with me and reconstitute them like you can with the Hydrus. And I think there's some Ecoline, which are basically a water. These are professional watercolours, and they are £7 or £8 a pot. I think it's about 65. Fred Olsen from Manchester and now Leeds, they have a shop. Oh, when I go in there, I'm in there for hours. I'm going to ask them to put a timesheet in next time. But they're fab, and this is the one that I spilt, and there's still tons in there. One drop will. I did 3 thumpers and 3 tigers, and the beauty of them is that when you get the colour, you can start, and I presume you could do this with these as well, is you get the pale, you get the original colour and work out. And so from one drop of really dark purple of the Hydrus, I've got 20 shades. But you can only do this with watercolour. If you're using acrylics, if they're good, proper professional ones, and oils, you would add white, but you'd still get the same amount because it's the pigment. All you're doing is watering down or diluting the pigment. The reds were the same. The blues, that's just one drop of blue. And the more water you put to it, the more you get. Is that in focus? Is that in focus, everybody? So the more you get your colours. Same with the greens. That was the deepest green, and then just by adding water, you keep. And that was the Tigger. And again, that's one blue, and one drop. The Tigger was done while I was away, and I did a Tigger for the swap. I didn't want to say anything before, but because now. Sorry, something's just dropped on the puppy. Let me get him from. Oh. There, come out. There's a good boy. No, he's going to run outside now. Sorry, there's a tiny patter of little tiny feet. Monsters. Oh, Alfie, that door. We cut up some carpet tiles and put them on the door. so that when he scratched, they wouldn't scratch the door, but it didn't last long. So my little book of colours had one drop of my hydrous, and I used it wet, so there's a reddy orange, there's a pink. There isn't a red, so of course, now I've learnt to do it with these, I now can make a red, a proper red. That's a pinky red. And I was going to send my daughter today to buy one. There is a green in there, and there's a couple of blues. So from those dots, as I said, I did another couple of dots here. And of course, when that's not, there's a piece of plastic in between. So that plastic protects that side, and that plastic protects that side. But there's still tons and tons of colour. If I was starting out, I would just buy these and nothing else. Have to say, love them, because I've now got them, instead of carrying 14 bottles, I think there's a few hundred in the shades, but instead of carrying the 14 bottles, I have them in my little book. But I keep waffling about my little book, but it's amazing. But that's how I did the tiger. But I didn't like the yellow. I didn't like the yellow, so I didn't like the eyes, so I did it again. And I wanted to think more of form, so you get the idea that there was going to be the dark, the light hitting the nose, and so I played about with it. So I hope that made sense. And this is the one I've played with. So on the back of the photocopy paper, that's my watercolouring. And that's why I've invented watercolouring. It's not watercolours. Watercolours are wet. My way of working is extremely dry, and it won't even go through. I've used it on the fine Bible pages. They're really fine for Bible journaling. Doesn't go through. It shows through, but it doesn't go through. But these, today, I've just been playing with some colours I've made from the 3 colours of the printer's ink. So that's printing ink for your printers. But as I say, for £3.50, I've had a real good play to see what the yellows were like, to get my oranges, to get the pinks. And they do bleed through terribly. It's very much like a marker. So that's what I'm working with. I missed Dee Dee. The girls said I had to go outside and sit with them in the sun because I haven't seen them all day. I was in the front room and it's dark and north facing. And so the girls, I was waiting all day for Dee Dee to show my tiger. No, this tiger is the first one I did. It's from the Menagerie. Bear with me 2 seconds. I tried to keep these all tidy. Oh, that wasn't my back, that was the chair. It's from the Menagerie. It's the Tigger. And my daughter's... I gave my pencils to my daughter because I can't use the pencils anymore. So she's kind of... I think it's the second one, the Tigger. So you miss a little bit of his ears off, I think. But that was my first attempt. And then I did Thumper in colours, and I've done Thumper in greys. But they're all done from my little book of colours. It's the same. They're all from my little book that I take with me. I photocopy things lots of times. That's the one I was going to do for Dee Dee's. Again, that's watercolour. Since I always thought I would never go back to watercolour, but what I did is I found these pans. Well, my daughters gave me them back actually, and said they're going to college and they're not using them anymore. So I cut the bottoms off about 2 millimeters from each one, and I glued them with white PVA glue into my little book. And I'm amazed that I started to colour with these now. Back to traditional watercolours. But what I was saying earlier was I coloured I started, the only two books I don't photocopy is this one. And my first attempt, which is the Imagimorphia, I used my little book for this, which is why it's very dry and pale. And they're the Graphitint from Derwent. But they are muted because I use them from a scribbled pencil. I don't use them from the pencil because I can't hold a pencil. So I have scribbled squares. I'm trying not to touch the ink underneath. I have scribbled squares in my little book of the 24 pencils. And I do love them. They are amazing. But when you use them from a scribble of square, you have more control and you don't have to use the pencil because obviously I can't. Does that make sense? That was my... Oh, I have difficulty holding things. That's the watercolours, and I kind of got really into these deep colours just using the pans that I'd cut into my little book. And so my first attempt was that. So I have a watercolour effect. No, I'm not sure, bear with me, if I have. Just bear with me 2 seconds. If I put automatic focus on and then hold it dead still. So I have really, really lovely colours, and I coloured that in 2 days because I can hold a paintbrush. I've made a video about it. I think I streamed last week about it. I'm just stroking a very fine paintbrush, just gently, and I can do that for hours on end, whereas I find it difficult to hold a paintbrush. So I shall get rid of that now. I should put it back where it's going, but there, put it behind me. So I put my glasses on for 2 minutes. So I'll go back to the greens. Just bear with me 2 seconds. I bought a new camera, but I've got to remember to talk into it. So if I press that, Judy, did you say you've pulled? If you pop it in capitals for me, I can see it with my glasses on. Did you say I pulled those from the little book? Yes, the colours. All the colours were from my book. I've been using this. If you look on Bunny's Designs, I've got 500-600 colours in here. And then if you actually tell you that you've got, I can't see what I'm doing. Sorry, I've scrolled down too much. If you think that I've got 10, not 20, which I probably have, 10 shades. If you think about the Thumper, there's more than 10 shades. That's almost 6,000 colours. It's 4 and a bit by 7. I think it's what we in England called A5. A4, sorry. It's what in England we call A4, but if you bear with me 2 seconds, I will find my little ruler. But have a look, because all your water-based stash can go in there. There's the Peerless. Peerless in there. 72 Derwent watercolours. 72 Inktense. 24 Graphitint. Caran d'Ache Neocolor 2s. I haven't labelled those. I've labelled them because when you use a lot of one colour, you can just scribble over the top. I've even managed to get professional pastels in there because I wetted the square first with a damped, like you would if it was watercolour, and then I did slow, small circular things. So that's now full of colour. So that is, what did I call it? Pastels. Yes, pastels. Professional pastels. Anything if it's water-based you can reconstitute back into colours. And then of course I've got the Hydras. And the other thing I've got in here, which was amazing, is I have the Kiritake Gansai Tambi watercolours. I have all 36 in my book. And I love that tin, but I can't carry it around with me because it's about A4. And every time I take it out, I drop it. And if you see the purple there, that's how much I've used it with my fine brush. So have a look at how I made that, because as I say, I'm going to Derwent in a month's time, and I'm going to try and meet up with them to say to them, please bring one of these printed out, and people can buy them for a few pounds and put their own pencils in it. And it makes the pencils, you leave the pencils at home so you're not dropping them, and you've got your colours with you. You can mix your own colours if you want. I mean, that makes you, well, even if you've just got those 6, there's no colour on the planet I can't make out of that on here. But what happens is, if you mix the yellow, you've got a plastic palette opposite every page. But you don't need to, because all I do is, and the other thing that I found amazing, and it's taken me 3 years to work it out, is I can make a colour from the Peerless, and I'll colour a rose in. And then I will flick to Derwent Ink Tents. Oh no, I won't. You see, I can go to Caran d'Ache, Neocolor Tools, and I can do a leaf. And then I think, well, I want another leaf now. Wait a minute, what do I want? And I can go to the Ink Tents, and I can touch that, and I can get that green. Now, you wouldn't get all your supplies out. You could not get all these on your desk and think, right, I'm going to fish for a green pastel, then I'm going to fish for a red Derwent pencil. This is a, oh, I always end up waffling about my little book. This, I used 2 of these, first of all, the Polyviews, because they've got the plastic. That was an experiment with professional watercolours out of a tube. And photocopy paper. Very quickly, I always do this very quickly. Photocopy paper, folded long ways, cut, folded halfways, and slipped into a photo pocket. And this particular one, and then I made some little strips. I meant to glue them down, but I can't do it with my fingers, of what they are, and I stuck them at the end because I got too many. You can push that up there, and you use that as a palette. Always remember though, if that's what you're doing, you have to clean your palette and wash it away before you shut it and dry it. Otherwise you'll contaminate your colours. But apart from that, there's nothing you can't do in that little book. Did that make sense? Was that okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put these in there, because this morning, I used this yesterday, I've reconstituted this green. This is printer ink. And I'm sure that it turns itself back into colours again. So I can put it in here if I want. I do think I've probably got enough in here though. But I take it everywhere. It goes on the train. And I can sit with my photocopy piece of paper, and I can turn the paper. That's why I photocopy everything, because I can only move in a certain position with my hands, and I find it a lot easier. There's no angle I can't get to if I photocopy it. And like the tiger, if I do it wrong, I can just do it again. So that's another reason I do it in a photocopy. So hi to everybody. I'm going to take my glasses off now. And so we've done a purpley blue and a greeny yellow, and we've got all those greens. Now that is a bit orangey because I can tell, because that's turning olive. But that might be because there's more warm in the blue, but we'll see as we go along. So we can get rid of that. Now normally I wouldn't get rid of that because that would keep me going forever, but it was £3.50 for the printer ink, so I'm being very, very naughty as a tight Yorkshire lass, and I'm washing it away. So going back to here, did you want me to zoom in a bit and then you can see what I'm doing? Glasses on, sorry. So hi everybody, welcome to Colour Mixing. I'm using the Wilkinson's Cheapy printer inks as an experiment to see for watercolouring, because I was wasting my, well, I would paint it, but I want to give it to Derwent because it was Derwent. Originally it was Derwent's, I can't show you, there was a video for Derwent in the 80s. So it's not my idea. It's my idea to make the book, but and Jenny Belly put it in a book on YouTube as well. And Peerless came out with the squares, so it was a combination of lots of things. And the fact that with my hands, I can't, with arthritis, I can't do everything. But I'm sure that Derwent will bring out a little book for people to buy and fill the colours in. But I'm hoping to show you that you don't need every colour. Every week I'm going to do a different thing with the 3 colours, because then I can show that you only need to buy 6 colours. And if you only buy 6 colours of one particular thing, you can buy 6 of everything and you're not going to break the bank, rather than buying, I think I saw a set of 80, was it 80 or 40 watercolours. You don't need that. You need 6. You need 6 colours to make every colour on the planet, and that's for that's the same for acrylic and oil. That's all you need. But I'll do, because I did the oil based. This is the oil based one from 6 colours. These are Winsor & Newton. Oh, brain gone. Winsor & Newton. Artisan water-based oils. There's a ready red. This is straight out of the box. It's a good set. You do get a couple of greens, and you get a brown, a black and a white, but you get a cool red, a warm red, a cool yellow, a warm yellow. You get a cool blue and a warm blue, and then you can make your colours, and that's all you need, 6. And then I made those. I mean, this is only on rough paper, it's on watercolour paper, but you can get quite a few colours. They were a bit dirty and grungy, which is why you get the dirty, grungy colours, but for shadows, they're awesome. So you can do it in oils as well, which I will do, and acrylics. You only need 6 acrylics. And I have here, because of Dee Dee, watching her with those paints, but I can't take them with me because they dry out. I bought 6 of the little, she makes it so easy Dee Dee makes everything look so easy. But they were £2 each, and I thought, I can't afford that, so I bought 2 yellows. I bought 2 blues, and I bought 2 reds. Having said that, there was a green there, there's a black, I don't know why I bought the black, a burnt umber and a purple and a white, because I kind of panicked a bit. But for colour wise, there's just those 6 in there. So so I'm going to do a colour mixing with just 6 colours in everything. In these aren't professional watercolours, but they're watered down, and then there are the professional acrylics, professional acrylics, which you can use. So I'll do a colour. I'll do the same as I'm doing here with watercolour, acrylics, oils, water-based oils, and the other acrylics as well. and the cheapy ones as well. There's lots of other things I've got in here, which and the pencils, all the pencils I've got, I will do it with the 6 colours. So then, in theory, you should have everybody should have something that I've got, and you can see exactly how to make all your colours. So I hope that will help. If you do buy printer ink, that gave me the idea because we've bought the Epsom Eco Tank. And it's fab. You get 2 years worth of ink, and I've just bought this set because it had 2 blacks in, and with me photocopying and the girls. The others are 3/4 full, and we've had it over a year, so the inks last yonks, and that's so wonderful to just press the button and not worry about, oh my goodness, it's going to be £60 for some more ink. And the girls going, Mummy, the printer won't print because it doesn't have any ink in it. They've just gone through a college course, graphic design, and either just finished their O-levels at school. They printed hundreds of photographs off. So you can use, it's a fab little thing. It's a bit expensive, but when you think about it with the ink, it's not. And also global warming, all those little ink cartridges that you have to throw away. I've got a bottle, and I've actually kept the bottles. I haven't opened this yet, actually. You do get the rubber gloves because it's lethal stuff. But there's no reason why I couldn't squirt a little bit of this into a bottle before I put it in the printer's ink, and then I don't even have to buy the £3.50 inky ones. So enough waffle like I'm doing again. I'm always waffling. I always waffle about lunatic things. Oh, no more baby wipes because I had to put my fingers down my puppy's throat earlier. He was chewing something, I don't know what it was, but I had to put my fingers down his throat. That wasn't very nice. So I hope that kind of is as clear as mud. Or wasn't as clear as mud. Now I've done something to chat and it seems to have gone a bit bleh. So I don't know what I've done with it again. So you'll have to forgive me. I'm trying to look at it on my little Kobo. Oops, I don't know what I'm doing now. Because I thought if I do apologise. Every time I think I've mastered this, it kind of just throws me into bewilderment. No, sorry, I can't do the chat. I don't know what I've done with it. It just seems to be stuck. So if I get back onto, oops, I don't know what I've done with that now. If I get back to the colouring, oh, excuse me, is that all right for everybody? So, and that's the colour. I've used that for a couple of days, and that's the colour of my water, which is black. So that proves that you can make black from 3 colours. I just better check that I'm in frame. I seem to have done something. So if I zoom in a little bit and just turn that around, you can see all the colours. You can see what I'm doing. Does that look about okay? I was hoping you could read the colour chart, but I'm not sure you can. see, when I see chat, I can't see that. I can't see if I'm in frame or not, but it seems to have frozen. Oh, thank you. Sunset, thank you, darling. Yes, thank you. Thank you very much. I'm watching on my Kobo actually. So that means I can turn that off and I've got more control over. I can see if I'm in frame because that's more important really. Right. So, is that okay for everybody? So I've wiped this. So I've used the bottom of the jam jars because I think this stuff is quite nasty stuff. It doesn't have a warning on it. It doesn't have a warning on it. But I would think one is it's very much like food colouring, because that was another thing I was going to practice with, was food colouring, because they're 70p for a little pot, but it goes a long way. So food colouring, 3 colours for food colouring would do it. You've got to faff about a little bit to get your orange, and then you get your red orange, because you're only given obviously the bright purple, but the bright pinky magenta. But that was quite good, because that means if you've just got a bright blue, a cool blue, a pinky red, and a yellow, you can make any colour. So I shall go back to the green. So I want a purple blue now. So I hope that wasn't as clear as mud. So I need a blue purple, which is the blue purple, which is that one. So I'll just test it. So that's my colour wheel that I've made with the inks this morning, and then that's the blue. So it's a little bit cool blue, but that's the blue that I wanted. So bear with me. I'm not happy with that blue. Don't know. I like that one. I wouldn't say that was purple. Just let me just do something. Let me just check. Oh, I obviously had something on there. Right. So I'm going to have to get some more blue out, because I've contaminated that one. And also, so I keep this on a tray, and if you spill it, well, I would not think of colour fastness for this either. I would think this is all right for playing about, for mixing colours, to practice on, and then once you know what colours to use, you can then use your professional watercolours. But this takes a lot of paint, and a tight Yorkshire lass, I couldn't bear to see that just disappearing before my eyes. So I'm going to put a little bit in there and a little bit in there, and then I'm going to push that back into there and gently squeeze it. And I'm going to put the top on, because I am bound to spill. And then I put that in the black water, and then, whoops, and then I've drawn some clear water. So it's still blue, it's still very, very blue inside there, it's still very blue. Now hopefully the third one is almost clear. So it takes a good 2 to 3 to know that your needles thing, and it's not sharp. It would be if you fell on it, but it's okay for that. But be very careful with them, because as I say, this is just for playing in colour. And I'm also going to use it, which I was here. I've been using it on Thumpers. Oops, I'm going to colour that in with it, because that's why you need a photocopy. But I'm using that here. So those greens were made with the printer inks, because they've gone through. Very much like a marker. But I want to see how many lovely colours that you can get from these printer inks, and then I can play about. I can do Thumper lots of times, and I'm not wasting, I'm playing about. I colour I'm sure I can get some colours like this. and there's lots of shades without even mixing anything. They're all from that drop of the water. They're hydrous. So you'll have to forgive me. Sometimes I waffle. That's what I was looking for. They were made from a yellow and an orange. And I don't know which blue it was. Oh, I think it was a purpley blue there, look. Oh, that's it. That's what I've done, look. I've got the purpley blue and the orange yellow. And that's what I wanted to show, but it gets too complicated. So I thought, originally I thought I could do the books in yellows but it gets too complicated. So I decided that I wouldn't do that. Sorry, my girls have just been shopping. I would do it like this in a book. So I've used sorry about that, a template, because I get really scruffy, and this is the first one that I did. That's the colours. These colours are taken from here. So I've got the purpley blue, the cool blue. I've turned that pink, magenta, into a warm pink by adding a bit of orange. Sorry, a bit of red orange. I've made the red orange by taking the magenta and making an orange with the yellow, and then a drop of orange into the magenta to make the red orange, because that yellow is very strong for a yellow. And if you put the yellow straight into the pink magenta, you will get orange. You won't get the red. So you want the orange first, which sounds ridiculous to make orange first. I made the orange first, and then I made the red orange. And then I took a little bit of the red orange into the magenta to make the pinky red, because I thought that was too pink and you wouldn't get the nice purples. So I hope you understood that. But all these are taken from this colour here, and there are some lovely muted colours. This is the colour wheel. These are the true colours that I've got in here, and that's my colour wheel that I made. So my orangey reds were the wrong way around because it went too red as the orange. But I've got quite a nice red orange, and I've got quite a nice quite a nice red purple, and quite a nice red orange, and then I've got a nice orange, and then that's an orangey yellow. That's the yellow, and then I've got a bit of a warm yellow. It's a bit odd to do that, but you can do it. That gives you the greys, and then you've got the cool blue, and then I had to warm the blue up again. So I made a purple first with the blue and the magenta to make a purple, a bright purple, and then I added a touch of the blue again to it to take it back down to a warm blue, because they are really strong, these colours, unbelievably strong. But I was very pleased that I could get a reasonable palette colour wheel. And then from there I took the yellow with the purple, opposite complementary colour. So I had a yellow with a purple to make some shades. I made an orange to a blue, added blue. The red, I added green. The pinky red, I added green, and again, difference in the reds, make difference in those. The purple, the purpley blue, I added the purple I added yellow. The blue I added orange, and the greens I added reds. And that's a lovely scale to do as well. Did everybody understand what I did then? So what I'm doing at the moment is I'm just doing the greens. I'm just making greens. They were the original straight magenta colour. So I made an orange, and then I made the orange put into the red to make a red, because they're so vibrant. Same with the blue. I had to make a purple first, put a drop of purple back into the plain blue to make a warm blue to give me the two blues. But that gave me some nice blues. So I hope that wasn't as... Right. So it's difficult to get the first time because sometimes you kind of think, oh gosh, what's that? So that gave me the colour wheel. But I've gone back now to just mixing greens because I want to show you the difference of the greens. And then I'll stop the recording and I'll do another colour with the warm and the cool so you can see the differences. So I'll stop waffling now. I'll just have... So I want... oh, well, that's why I was doing it. I'd lost my purpley blue, hadn't I? That's the cool blue. But I've got a purple. I've got a ready purple there, so I have to wash my brush out every time. And a touch of ready purple into my purpley blue. And that was not very much. So this is all trial and error because... So I want my ready purple, which is that one. That's my red orange actually, into my purple blue mix. And it's slowly turning to a warm blue. I think that's probably it actually. Can you tell? That's a warm blue and that's a cold blue. And I haven't done red. I've added red purple because these are so vibrant. So, but once you've played with them and you've got your colour wheel, you will know how to make them. But you've got to make a purple first before you make the warm blue. Rather strange, but it's easier to do it that way. So I now have my warm blue. See, that's very purpley, that one. That's wrong, that. I'll have to do that one again. I'll do that one again because that's too purple. This is a warm blue. So I'll put my purpley warm blue, which is a warm blue. And then this is my cold blue here. And just double check. Yes, that's definitely a pink, a purpley blue, and that's a cold blue. Right, so we've got that right. So now that's a blue purple. I now need a yellow orange. So what I did is I made the orange, and then I took a tiny drop of orange into the original yellow, which has given me a lovely warm yellow. That's the cool one, that's the warm one. But because you're playing with a couple of pounds, it's okay. So that's my warm yellow, which I'm going to put here now. And I'm going to leave that there because I'll use that next time. So this is my warm yellow. Oh, I'm not in frame, bear with me. Right. So that's my warm yellow. And that's my blue. So I've got a full paintbrush of blue there and a full yellow there. And I'm just going to do that. And that's quite a nice green. But I'm just going to take that off there and I'm going to give myself some more blue. So that's actually quite a nice blue, but it's a cool blue because it's the yellow that's turned it down. So now I'll go back to my yellow and I'll put a full paintbrush into there. And that's giving me quite a warmish green, not as bright as it was. So we'll just bear with me 2 seconds. That was a puppy. Drop more yellow into there and we'll see. That's quite a nice green, that one. Just see if I can get it a bit lighter. Thank you. Oh, thank you. I was going to actually do them today, but I asked my daughter to bring the nail varnish down and she forgot. So, of course, I couldn't do it because once I'm downstairs, I have to stay downstairs. Right. So we've got the yellow. I'm going to put I want some more yellow in that. I want it a nice bright green. That's the best green, right? So I would class that as a forest green. So we've got a forest green. So we've got a warm blue and a warm yellow is a really rich, it's not showing up very well, but it's a rich, what I would call a forest green. Oh, my chest. I've got all the drawers open with things propped up so I can get to them. So what we need to do now is wash the brush out and take some more yellow and put that into the green. And then see what that green looks like. So I need some more yellow. I've changed the colour slightly. So that little bit of yellow's made it quite paler. And oh, I didn't wash my brush out. Damn, never mind. You've got to wash your brush out every time with these colours because they're not forgiving. They pick up every trace, so you don't get a true colour. So I'm going to have to wipe that off now. And make sure my brush is really clean, and then get some yellow on there. So I hope I'm still in frame. So all I'm doing is just adding yellow to that blue. Hi everybody, I'm trying to make a colour chart of greens, but I decided to use printer's ink. Sorry, printing ink. I keep saying that wrong. I bought some inks from Wilko's for £3.50. So that's what I'm using. Oops, you can't see that, can you? I'm trying to stay in frame. I'll change that the other way. So that's my colour wheel that I've made from the 3 colours out of the printer's ink. So if I move that out of the way, so that's given me now another green. So if we keep going, taking some yellow, just a brushful. So there's such a difference in the greens, and yet all I've done is change from a cold yellow to a warm yellow. But the greens are so different. And again, that's another thing you look at and you think, well, why? How on earth? I got that last time. Why isn't it this time? I've used the same colours, but obviously the amount of colour that you've used is slightly different. I'm trying to do it with one brush full of yellow to the mix every time to give a variation. What I would normally do is keep going until it went to the palest, until it went to yellow. So as I did with that one, I'm just going to put another brush full just to really turn that, and I'm going to put that one there. So that's quite a nice pale, but it is different. So a warm yellow, a cold yellow will give you a pale green, a bright pale green, but a warm yellow and a warm blue will give you an olive. So all your olive colours come from a warm blue and a warm yellow. So if you've mixed a green and a yellow together and thought, oh, I want an olive and I can't get an olive, don't buy an olive colour, just make your own. I have at least 3 pale olives there and a couple of dark olives there. So now I'm going to make sure that I've completely cleaned this. I'm doing it on a jam jar because, as I say, I'm not sure what it's going to do with this tray. If it's spoilt, it's spoilt, but if it doesn't, I will mix it in a palette. But I didn't really, you see, it turns your fingers straight away. And that is probably not going to come off. Luckily, I'm not going anywhere. So I may put that behind there, I think. I've run out of baby wipes, so I may have to shout help soon. So we have got, and one of the, this is the one that I'm working from. So I'm putting the colour from here that I'm mixing. I'm cleaning my brush in the dirty water, and then I'm putting it into the clean water, so I know there's no contamination at all on this brush. So if I just move slightly up there. So hi Terry, hi Phantom, hi Judy, and everybody else. I hope everybody's well. I'm doing some colour mixing with Printer's Ink. So anybody on YouTube, this is a live stream. Oh, no puppies. No dogs, they've all disappeared. So what I've done now is I've done a purpley blue, sorry, a blue purple and a yellow green. So they're the ones, so the yellow green is nearest the green and the blue purple is nearest the purple. So then I've got a blue purple, which is nearest the purple, with a yellow orange, which is near the orange. So I now need a blue green. So I'm going to go for, first of all, I want a yellow green, which is the first one. So try and make sure that I don't have any water on at all. And my tops are clean. They just lend themselves to having quite a nice mixing thing without flicking it everywhere. So what did I say I wanted? That's clean. I want a yellow green, which is the cool yellow, which is there. I think I did that the other way around last time, didn't I? Yes, that's interesting. I added. Oh, I've done that both times. I've added the yellow to the blue to go lighter. Right. Instead of the other way around to go darker. So I might do that in between, but for a start off, we've got the yellow, and then we want a blue-green, which is the cool blue, which is the blue that came out of the bottle, which is quite a cool blue. So that is my blue, which goes there. Actually, what I'll do, if I did, oh, not that one, if I did, sorry about that, that's better, look. Right, you can see what I'm doing now. So I've got one brushful of blue, of cold blue, and one brushful of cold yellow. And dry the brush off because we're trying to make these as neat as possible. And so that's my yellow. So I'm going to put the yellow there. So it's different from the other one. Should be the same as that one actually. And then I've got my blue, which is the cooler blue. Is anybody following me and doing it with me as I'm doing it? Hi everybody, if I've missed you, I've taken my glasses off now because I'm desperately trying to see if I'm in frame and I can't see chat very well. So welcome everybody. This is Bunny's Designs and we're doing colour mixing with Printer Ink. Cheap Wilko's £3.50 Printer's Ink. Printing ink, sorry. Right. So I'm going to, the first one will be a brush full of that into the green. Now if you did that, if you had the same amount of yellow into blue, you wouldn't get green if you were using watercolours because the blues are very vibrant. But in Printer's Ink, you get a nice bright green. So those two are quite dull in comparison. So that's quite a nice bright green. So I'm going to wash my brush out, some more yellow, go back into this. And every stroke is getting a brighter yellow. And there's no water. I'm just picking up the yellow. Trying just to make one stroke because this ink does kind of disintegrate, absorb very quickly. So I'm getting some very bright, clean grass green, very different greens. What is printer ink? If you ask me something in caps, I can just about squint. It's the ink that you use for your printers to fill your cartridges up. Sometimes people do make little bottles of them. So there's the bright yellow, the magenta, and the what did I call it? It's not cerulean, it's cyan. Cyan blue, magenta, and yellow. And I'm very carefully using you get a syringe and gloves and things, and it's not sharp, it's not a sharp one, but you can very carefully mix into this palette that I'm not very bothered if it gets covered in things. So more yellow. Just drop gone down the side there, so there's more yellow. I'm probably going. This is lemon greens. This is the cold yellow. So that might be a big jump now. I just found it cheaper than when I did the colour wheel for. I was playing with colours. My professional watercolours were disintegrating in front of me, so I thought I'd play with these because it's the same principle. Obviously, they're very different colour-wise, but it proves that if you have a warm blue and a warm yellow, you're going to get some olives. If you're having a cool blue and a cool yellow, you're going to get some greens. And that doesn't matter if it's printer's ink, if it's watercolour, if it's acrylics, oils, or pastels. If you mix those two yellows and those two blues together, that's what you're going to get. So that was my idea, was to just do it. And because it was £3.50, I can fill my book up and waste quite a lot. Although I'm not actually, it's very similar to the Hydrus. They're kind of going a long way. But I'm experimenting with the colour. This is obviously almost a dark yellow now. The corns, the corn on the cob have corns on them, and those yellows for a shadow would be that yellow. That's what's coming to my mind now. And whereas that's probably a grass green, well, I thought that was a deep forest green. Again, now we're getting into the more yellows. It's a yellow green now. It's not a green yellow. And so if you carried on, I normally would carry on till it's almost yellow. And then you're going to have a double scale, that you can have a yellow green or you can have a green yellow. But if I show you how it works the other way, you probably can match some colours near other colours, but not quite. Those two are very similar. So another drop of yellow, and I would think that we're almost back to a yellow. I'll just do that once more. And I would think that's almost a yellow. Sorry, puppies and people toddling around. Oops. It seems to have disappeared now. Sorry about that. So you've almost got a yellow there now. It's not quite as bright as that one. But again, if you had something that bright, I'll just knock off pardon the expression, I don't think you can say that in America, can you? I put the automatic So those are the yellows that I've used. And I've ended up with those pale greens. So if I put that there, put that there, I have to put it down because it doesn't like you to wobble. Hopefully that's better. I'm still playing around with the new Logitech camera, so I must admit it's very easy to use. So we've now got to the yellows there. So bear with me 2 seconds because I've just knocked chat off my. Oh, it seems to have. Just bear with me, see if I can get it back again. But that's just me. I was trying to rearrange it on my Kobo so that I could watch it. So for my next trick, we are going to have a blue-green. Oh, I have to wipe these clean first. I would think you'd go through a lot of kitchen roll and a lot of baby wipes. Right, so what I'm going to do next is, oopsie, make sure my paintbrush is very, very clean, dry. So I need a blue-green, and the blue-green is the proper blue. We'll put that one in there. So that's the blue straight out of the pot. And I have 2 water brushes, one that's dirty and one that's clean, just to make sure I don't contaminate anything. Right, and the other one is the yellow-orange, which is, that's my yellow-orange. So if I put that there, so that's my yellow-orange, which as you can see is not as bright as that one. And I need to put the blue there, so that's the cool blue. Hi Flint. Hi everybody. If anybody wants me to repeat anything, just put it in capitals for me, because I can't always squint. Oh yes, new camera. Yes, the other way was just completely not working for me. And the other thing was, I had a better sound system, but I couldn't focus. It was jumping all over. So I'm still playing with it. This is only the second time I've used it, so hopefully it should be better. So I've now got there the orange, the warm yellow, and the cold blue. So with a dry brush, I'm going to put some yellow into the blue. Now that turned instantly into a green. That wouldn't happen if you had ordinary colours, because you only need a touch of blue for the yellow to go. So that's given me a real deep, a nice deep, again, forest green. So I'll wash the brush out. A paintbrush full of yellow into the green mix. Sorry, so if I was saying, if you put that yellow into a blue, it probably wouldn't have any effect at all. until about the third or fourth attempt. So of course this yellow is very, very vibrant. And it's turning this, I mean, there is the same amount of blue, and it's turning these greens very quickly into pale greens. Probably if you did this with watercolour, it would take a lot longer. I did ask, is anybody doing this with me? Playing with colour? Because I think if you found in watercolours, you probably would only be there now. You wouldn't have, because most yellows are quite good, but they're not as vibrant as that. It's probably easier, and I probably will do this when I do the others. I will put the blue into the yellow next time rather than yellow into the blue. But as I say, these inks are, these printer inks are so vibrant. I'm trying to do one stroke and then you can tell the colour's getting lighter. I'm going to have to get some more, oh, wrong yellow, some more yellow. So I do intend to do watercolours, acrylics and oils, and we'll do the colour chart because you can see the difference. You can see the difference. Sorry, that's Puppy. And again, we've taken this, and because the blue is a warm blue, we started with quite a deep one, so it's taken a lot longer to get to a yellow. In fact, I'm going to put my brush into that one to speed it up a bit. And as you can see, that made a big jump, that one. And then for the last one, I'm just going to take that back to the yellow and see if we can get that paler. So there's quite a few greens there. So I hope you can see. I hope you can see that the different, because of the different blue and yellows, is the different greens. I mean, you could do this for hours and hours. And different mediums will give different effects. But oops, dear, I've done that one wrong because that's more of a purple, so I'm going to do that again. And I want a yellow orange, so I'm going to have to make another yellow orange. So I'm going to have to put some yellow into here. And just test that it's not contaminated with anything else. It is a smidgen, but it'll be okay. And just put a tiny tot of orange into that. And that's made just a tiny tot more. So I think that's nearest damn it. So let's just do that. So we're going to have a yellow, a warm yellow, yeah, which is the same as that one. So for a warm yellow, you take the cool yellow and just put a tiny drop of orange in it, not red. Not the red, none of the reds, just the orange, just to turn it, because it will go completely to another colour if you do. Now, and I want a purpley blue. So I think we said that was a nice purpley blue. Yes, you see, that's too purple, that one. I made a mistake. So what I'm going to do now is the blue purple. And I shall just put a drop up there. And that's the difference. That's the one I should have used. And I used that one instead. So if I put that there, wash the brush out, make sure that it's clean and dry. So I now want some warm yellow into that green. And that's given a completely different green because I used the wrong blue. I used the blue with too much red in it, too much purple in it. So yellow into that again. I mean, if you had 4 or 5 blues and 4 or 5 yellows, you could do such a colour scale. It probably would take you all day, but see, so it's completely different, but it's different from the warm blue and the warm orange. This is the cold yellow. So you're not getting the olivey ones, you're getting the greeny ones. Does that make sense? Hi, Terry. Does that make sense to everybody? Or is it as clear as mud? And as you go up, I'm using the same amount of yellow, but that's a completely different colour because that's a purpley red. So if you want some really, and the other reason I'm going to show you is there is more red in that. And red and yellow makes orange. And if you have orange with a blue, you get the olive colours. And what that's doing is that colour there is picking up the red that's in the purple. But if you put that same amount into the yellow, you'd have orange and blue. So again, that's another thing. If you make some more blues now, if I make some more greens, I'll show you what I mean. I know that was as clear as mud. Did anybody understand that bit? But because it's picking up the red, that's making that more of an orange. And orange and blue make olive colours. Whereas the cool yellows and the cool blues, they're the closest ones together. They're giving you the brightest greens. So I'm just going to put a drop more on there and take it right to the edge so you can see what a difference doing it with that different blue was, because I'd made it too purpley. But of course you may have a purpley blue. You see, the cobalt blues are a cool blue, but they're not as cool as Cerulean. So in most ones you have like 3 or 4 colours, and you can just keep going and going. It's quite amazing. You see, I'm getting an olive now because that's taking the blue when it's going back and it's drawing off its warm yellow to give you the olives. But you get to the olives quicker than you would before. Does that make sense? Or is that... So what I may do now is I'll do it I'll take them darker this time, because I think you can, that's gone to pales, and then underneath you can have the darker ones. So you're going to have quite a few. There's 2, 4, 6, 8. 2, 4, 6, 8. 70 colours there. 70 greens. Oh, I'm glad you've I'm glad you've followed me. Like I say, clear as mud. So if it's got purple in it, it's got the red orange in it. So if you had an orange and a blue, you would get the same greens. They'd probably be a bit further off the scale, but you would eventually get the same ones. Has that gone blurred? Is it very blurred, or is it okay? Can't see very well. So what did I say I was going to do? I was going to do the blue purple here. Oh dear, that didn't sound very nice. Oh, my animals are delightful. Sorry, I think somebody just been ick. Oh, there's Icky Dog. That's nice. Right, so I'm going to use the warm yellow again. So it's a good job I made some more. And this time I'm just going to make the green. So in theory, we should have the same green as there, because it's a warm and a warm. So this time I'm going to add the blue to the green. To make another green scale. More blue to the green. Now you'll probably find another green very similar. I kind of jumped a shade there, but you get, this is now turning this green very dark. But you can get some really dark blues, which would be fab for blue. It's the warm blue, isn't it? It's that one. Yeah. If you wanted, if you had a pale, if you had that blue as a boat, you've got all these shades. Now it's coming into shades of blue for water reflection of under the boat, instead of using, just see if I can take all that blue off there. And I'll just do a touch more, just so you can see just how far you can take it. I do try to get them to go back to the original colour, but sometimes it's a bit difficult. But that's giving you a darker scale, that. So again, we'll do that again. My little puppy's dropping in and out with it. So, so now we want, no, I'd done that wrong. I knew I'd done that wrong because the colours were different. I've used this one. So now I'm going to have to, right, so that should be here. Because it's a warm purple and a warm orange. Warm yellow. Duh. Right. So this time I'm going to use a purple blue. And just put the purple blue there so I know. So I've got a purple blue. And I want the cold yellow this time. And the cold yellow. So that is this one. No, it's not. It's that one. So it should look like that. Right, let's do it then. Let's take that and put it with that. I don't think there was enough blue in it. Just a touch more blue. And that should be the same as that one. And then some more blue. I'm still using the blue purple. You are getting some really nice greens. And again, this is from 2 blues and 2 yellows. But you can do a colour scale of all your colours. If you had 4 blues, you mix them by each one, but you don't need to. This is just to prove there aren't many colours you can't make with. Because you can change your colours of your blues. If you added a little bit of purple to a blue, you can get a really warm blue. And then you can, instead of buying one, you've got one already. You know, you can't make a cool blue though. And you can't make a pink. if you've got an orange pink, there is no way you can make purple, because your orange pink needs the pink for the purple, because you've got the blue there, but you will never get that. I'm keeping running out of blue. I don't know what I'm doing differently, but I'm going to keep going. Just do one more so you can see that that's made some pretty nice greens. But this is the darker scale. So I can keep that blue. That's a purple blue. No, I don't need either blue again, so I'll get rid of those. And normally this would break my heart, but because it's £3.50, I'm being a bit slap happy. Now I do need some more baby wipes. I seem to try and keep a stash because my children are quite known for running off with my baby wipes, but never mind, we'll survive. So I now need the blue green, which is the cool blue. So this is the blue, the normal blue. I know it doesn't look different, but it is. This is the normal blue, which is the cool blue. So it could be cobalt, it could be selenium, it could be there's another one, but you can't get the greens. It's got to be really cool, and selenium blue is the coolest blue. Because if I just could not get my nice greens from that. So I now need my yellow green, which is the coolest yellow. And I will put a drop of that into there. So that's made quite a pale green actually, but never mind. I've kind of jumped a bit, but these two colours are the nearest on the colour wheel, and the nearest on the colour wheel are the brightest. So these colours should be very vibrant. Is everybody okay? Does that make a bit of sense? I don't know why I chose green. It's not really my favourite colour, but I think I haven't a clue why I chose green. I just thought greens, I suppose with trees and that, it's the one that you do need quite a lot of colours, because if you're doing a scene, a landscape, you're going to need quite a lot of greens, and it's more fun to mix your own. And because I know roughly what I'm doing, she says, I'm going to carry on. So I've got my cool blue there, and I'm going to carry on and take this up here. I seem to have frozen chat. Is everybody all right? If I just put that in, it seems to kind of... Right, is everybody okay? So more blue. Now some of these colours are starting to look similar, and that's because the blue and the yellow and the orange has kind of balanced itself out. So you don't really need even all these colours. I'm just going to take that and take it backwards that way, just to show you that it can go almost back to blue. We're having a heat wave in the UK at the moment, and normally I'm frozen, but I'm quite wrong today. So because I contaminated that one, I'm going to have to get rid of that one as well. But as I say, because this is ink, it will start to kind of it's just turning is my water. It's the palest blue tint now. But we're on to the last one, which is the blue green, which is the cool blue, and the warm yellow, which I don't have any left. So I'm going to put some yellow on here. And then I'm going to touch of that. Just a touch more. So that's warmer than the cool one. Oh, Alf, shush, darling. Right. Alfie. Right, so we're going to make a green. So that's a bit pale. Now, am I still in frame there? More blue. Is everybody okay? Sorry, I'm miles away. When we were first at college, I hate to say 40 years ago. No, not quite 40 years ago, but almost. I had a thing. If you just excuse me a second. Amy, could you do me a favour? Could you please pass me some baby wipes, please? Thank you. So, baby wipes are a must. So what I now have there is I need some more blue. And this is going darker and darker. Oh dear, it's feeding time and going out time. So I hope you found that little bit of mixing greens interesting. Because instead of just getting a green out of a packet, I'm going to put... Again, that's gone to a teal colour. And if we just put some more in there, it's getting richer and richer. How's the... Oops. Is that okay? Let me just put my glasses on. So from 4 colours, we've got quite a nice array of greens. Let me just put the autofocus on. And I'll get rid of those before I make a mistake and put my sleeve in it. So, can you see all those? Let me see if I can get some. I'll put that back onto there in a minute. Just a second. It does like my hand for some reason. Just bear with me 2 seconds. Oh, bye, Terry. What time is it now? Oh, sorry, I think Terry left at 3 o'clock. Hi, everybody. How are we doing now? So, hope everybody's okay. Yeah, my dogs don't know what weight is. So, oh, I can't see what I'm doing now. Sorry, I really can't see. If I can see chat, I can't see what I'm doing. But those are the colours. So we've had a warm blue and a lemon green. Sorry, we've had a blue purple. If we look at the colour wheel, the bluey purple is the warmy one. And we've got the yellow green, which is the yellow one, the coolest one. The blue purple, which is the warmest one, and the yellow orange, which is the warmest one. And then we've got a blue green, which is a cool one, and a yellow green, which is a cool one. And that's why we've got the brightest colours here. And then we've got the blue green, which is the coolest one, and the orange yellow, which is the warmy one. So again, they lend themselves a little bit to olives. But the best olives one actually was a mistake. It was the purple. So we now know that if you have a cool yellow and any colour blue, you can't really get an olive. They are almost olive because of the red in the orange. Does that make sense? There was a censor in my sentence. Does there was was there? Oh, what on earth did I say? Oh, sorry. Unless the dogs are barking, but I can't imagine that's doing it. So is everybody back, or a plethora of colours at your censored? Well, what on earth did I say? I'm worried now because I've said it once. I've said it 10 times. Bit worried now because I'm not sure. I'm not sure what I said. Anyway, so we've got quite a few. Oh, I can't see what I'm doing. So I'll just see if I can take that off a little bit. So did you find that bit interesting? So what we could now do is do some more squares, but I'm not going to be bothered drawing them out because it drives me insane. But obviously here now we're into the green section. So what we could do is we could make, I might have to put some more yellow out. I've got enough blues, but it's the yellow that's taking a batting today. Oh, was it not me? Oh, right. Oh, does it do it for that as well? Oh, bless. Right, now I've broken my rule, look. Put it in the tray. I'll pan out. I'll zoom out. And then you can see what I'm doing. See my messy table. So I've decided that I've got to... My yellow's looking a little bit depleted. So into the yellow. And that's what it looks like. It very much looks like watercolour. Food colouring. It's a strange colour for yellow. So if we pop some in there and some in there, I'm just covering the bottom because it does go an awful long way. And then pop it back into there and very gently squeeze that through. And then put the lid on because I'm prone to spill things. And I put it in the dirty water. You can't see anything because it's gone dark. And then I put it in the clean water. And you can see that there's some. And then I've got some more clean water. So it's about the third time that everything kind of works itself out. So I can pop that back now. And just bear with me 2 seconds. So now, how are we doing? If I pop, are we in focus now? Bear with me 2 seconds. So if I get rid of that now, right, oh dear, dog's going past. Yes, Sunset says a clean table shows no evidence of fun. No, I just make a mess. I make a mess all the time. All the time. Right, what I thought we would do is we'll play with 2 blues and the orange, I think. So on our little pots, I need to put them there because we can see through, can't we? That's a better idea. And I'll do it upside down because it doesn't really matter. So on our pots we need, and just bear with me, let me just have a look at the time and see if I've got to make another one. I'm going to stop the recording and do another one if that's okay, because I've done the green scale. So thank you for